Alright, so today we're going to be talking about a topic that I've honestly not heard that much discussion about, but I think it's a pretty interesting discussion, and yeah, that's why I'm going to be talking about it. And it is Uberfest or Epicfest better? I don't know, but I'm going to be diving into my opinions and what I think. But before we begin, please consider joining my membership if you want more of my content. I plan on having a lot of cool features on it, so please consider joining. Also, just subscribe. Just do it. Alright, let's get into the video. So, Uberfest and Epicfest have been around for a long time. Uberfest came first, obviously, followed by Epicfest. But which one has, on average, the better Ubers? I mean, it's interesting because, yeah, the niches have tended to be that Epicfest gets higher stats, but targeting traitless, while Uberfest gets targeting to traded, but lower stats overall. However, this is sort of dramatically changed with Castley, Iz, even Gau in a sense, and especially Dark Fonoa and Luna. It's just completely shifted it up, which personally I don't like, but that's a story for another video. So let's compare all of the units. First, we have Baby Gau and Dark Gau, and for this one, I honestly don't know. They're both really good, but I'd have to go with just the regular Gau, because regular Gau is just exceptional. Don't get me wrong, Shadow Gau is also amazing, but Baby Gau can just deal so much damage to traded enemies, so yeah. Alright, next up, we have Matama versus Dark Matama, and this is a really obvious win towards regular Matama, so that's 2 points for Uberfest. So that's not good, and the reason why Matama wins is Dark Matama just targets traitless, while Matama targets everything. Sure, Dark Matama does have weekend, and yeah, it is cool, it is a good unit, and it does sort of break traitless stages, but Matama just sort of breaks everything, so yeah, pretty self-explanatory. Next up, we have D'Artagnan versus D'Artagnan, and this one is interesting. This is like, for me, the prime example of what a fast unit should be. D'Artagnan does massive damage to traded enemies, while D'Artagnan does massive damage to traitless enemies, and also has strengthen, as well as, I believe, higher range and just overall higher stats, which makes sense because it only targets one thing. So, D'Artagnan does have really exceptional DPS, having 13,000 DPS against traded enemies at level 30, which is good, but D'Artagnan just blows that out of the water, with his sheer power against tradeless enemies reaching like 60,000 DPS when strengthened, and it's very high against just normal enemies, which he doesn't even target. This is a very, very resounding win to D'Artagnan, because he is just in another league. He is a top 10 Uber, I would say. Well, D'Artagnan is good, but nowhere near as good compared to D'Artagnan. Next up, we have normal Castley versus Dark Castley, and this is also another, like, pretty obvious. We have literally the best unit in the game versus Uberfest exclusive. The normal Castley is, like, very underrated, but she falls in the shadows because of her sister. The ability to knock back traded enemies is nice, and it can, like, hold them at bay, and her DPS is very nice, but it does have one surge level lower, which dramatically reduces her DPS, and Dark Castley is just so oppressive. Like, I don't really need to elaborate how broken she is, and she also has Curse, so it's a clear win. So right now, we are actually 3-2. So, I mean, it's intense. It's a intense battle. So, wait, silly me, just 2-2. What am I doing? Okay, next up we have Gau versus Dark Gau, and this is, in my opinion, a really obvious point for normal Gau, because Dark Gau sort of just sucks. I mean, they're both, honestly, sadly, not the best units, but normal Gau is tough versus all traded enemies, so it can be good in some stages with just slower pushing threats. But the problem with traitless enemies is traitless enemies are strong. Like, they have some insane DPS. So, like, Garu just can't do that much and can't survive that long. And its HP is just not all that impressive. So, it's 3-2 Uberfest to Epicfest. Next, we have Iz versus Dark Iz. And this one is, I think, the most even matchup. They're both, honestly, really good. But I'm going to give it to Dark Iz, because Dark Iz has just a laughably large, like, kit. He's immune to literally everything and has Barrier Breaker. And he is, in my opinion, the strongest Aku Breaker unit in the game, because he attacks so fast and is so fastly deployable and has a 100% chance. So it goes to him. So that is a nice even 3-3. So it is really close. Now we have normal Fonoa versus Dark Fono, and this is a insane debate actually, because Dark Fono is a master of slow, a master of crowd control because of that amazing mini surges that he can make, and he is just super oppressive, as well as having pretty good DPS. But Fonoa is, in my opinion, ever so slightly better, because, I mean, it's just amazing. Massive damage to traded enemies. Like, he is insane. He doesn't quite rival Dark Castley, in my humble opinion, but he is still very good and better than Dark Fonoa, in my opinion. Now, finally, we have Celestial Child Luna versus Netherworld and Nymph Luna. And these are the two most recent additions to it. And, I mean, Dark Luna hasn't even come out, so I'll just sort of compare them side by side in depth. So, Dark Luna has strong against floating, traitless, angel, and Aku enemies, while the normal Luna has strong against red, alien, zombie, and relic enemies. So they're sort of opposite. The normal one has wave shield, where the dark one has counter surge. They both create explosions, and they both have a different set of immunities. Overall, this is hard, I think. They both have pretty good kits, but I would say the win has to definitely go to normal Luna, because, like, normal Luna has a chance to 100% chance to freeze enemies, while Dark Luna just has a chance to weaken them, and freeze is so much more valuable than weaken. Even though it overall has weaker traits that it's targeting, I think it's just the slightly better unit. So yep, that's the final total. It's actually really hard to figure out who is better, but I would personally roll for Uberfest. It has a lot more consistent pool than Epicfest, but honestly, both are amazing. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing, and have a nice day. Bye!